Your mic is muted, Miss Kathy. There should be a mute button.
All right, there you go. Can you hear me now, guys?
I can't hear you yet.
Can't hear me yet?
Well,
that's not good.
Hi, everyone. We are working on working this out. This is odd.
Can you hear me now? Well, that's not good.
No, I can't hear you.
Mom of 4 says she can hear.
It does show that your microphone's working. That's interesting.
Is it your headphones maybe? Why you can't hear me?
Okay, unplugged. Did that help?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Your headphones maybe?
I can hear you. Okay, good.
Now you just need to mute your YouTube link.
Okay, unplugged. Did that help?
I can.
There we go. Phew.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Hey, no problem. Real, right? We're real time, real live.
Awesome.
Real live, real time, real talk.
Exactly.
So let me go back to the chat of where I left off. I was welcoming everyone. Let's see, where did I leave off here? I love how you do your intro when you start your show. And I know you and I talked when we met at the Love Park last week. You said that you share your screen and stuff. I'm still learning all of that. So I think
that's
I'll get
all right. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a learning process. And I think that it's just new. And it took me a while to get going too. So I started in August. I think I've got it down.
Oh, yeah. So this will be my 4th Real Talk in like the last 2 weeks. So cool. I'm going to pop my chat out, guys, so I can see you better.
Right. And did you say hello to everyone already?
I think I had stopped whenever I realized I was muted.
Oh, okay. Well, awesome.
So I said hi to Philip and Lori, and then, okay, Farmel Fanatic says, yo, no sound. Okay, I think we're good here. And I've got Justin Mello. Hi there. Inspired John, thank you for coming. And Midnight Raven has come over. You have some great people in your live stream today.
Oh, it is sweet of them to all show up for this. I have such a great community and they're all so supportive. I just love it. If they remember to hit the thumbs up, that would be super awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you guys, for those of you who don't know Kay, she is Happy Trails Hiking and she has her husband as well, Matt, right? Mm-hmm. I have yet to meet Matt in person, but I was fortunate enough to meet Kay last week. That was such a fun stream. We both actually vlogged it. So if you guys any of you are new to either of our channels, you can check that out. And it was a lot of fun meeting Kay. So during our meetup, we decided that we would do a Real Talk together. And it worked out so perfect that she was already talking on health. And we talked a lot about how, we like food, of course.
Oh,
so yeah. It just fit. And I think it was a good fit too.
I think it is too. I'm excited about it. So yeah, this is great. It's great to see everybody in the room. I don't know that there's anybody who would be new to me.
Hello, Cliff. Cliff is here. I haven't.
Yeah. Hey, Cliff. It's great to see you. And yeah, Philip Cockram's here. That's awesome. Awesome. Very fun. And we have a great community over there for our health challenges, and they inspire me on a daily basis. And I just love that, I can go, we have a Twitter chat too. So I can go into the Twitter chat in the morning and go, ugh, Monday. And there's going to be somebody to go, smile, okay, it's not that bad. Or what's wrong or whatever. And, you get on the live show every day. So I'm live 6 days a week, once with Matt and 5 other times by myself. But while I prepare to talk for 30 minutes by myself, to myself, I never have to, because these people are here and even if they're working, like Marty's crew works full time, he'll pop in and say, I'm on the forklift, but I'm listening. Or Lori Bryant is my sister, but she works full time. She'll go, busy today, but listening, or whatever. That's just so wonderful. So
support is a good thing. That is really cool. And you're right, talking to your camera. That's exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard. And I don't know how you've done it every day. Just starting this out, I was my goal is once a week, but I already have 3 scheduled for next week. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm a little bit nervous about that, but
well, you've got this. You've got this.
you know,
No
it's
doubt.
a thing when you have people coming and wanting to be on your show when you start something new. So I really feel fortunate. I feel very grateful, and I'm really excited.
Yeah. Jerry from Life on the Trail drives a truck across the Pacific Northwest, and so he listens every day and tries to talk when he can. So when traffic's not too bad.
Yeah, the hardest part that I'm finding is making sure that you continue working with the chat. So it's like reading the chat and having a conversation at the same time.
Right. Well, and having good moderators is awesome. I had somebody come into my show, I guess Monday, and somebody said a really rude thing, and my moderators were right on it before I could even get to it. So it was, I have super mods, and I was just like, really? Some people are being stupid, but
and that's something that I definitely need to get on, but it's like hard because you need to find someone who's willing to come and be there all the time. So
yeah, I make a few so that if the one person if one of the people that I choose can't be there, then or like Yankee from Yankees Outdoor Adventures can't mod right now because he's ghosted out of the chats. So hi Yankee, if you're watching.
That's I haven't heard of that. So
what does that mean? Weird. Okay, so Yankee can type into the chat before the live stream starts, but the minute the live stream starts, he can't type in he can type, but it'll say error and it won't let him be seen. So anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Well, it looks like I do have a mod. I must have rented Gemma at another time. So
Gemma's going to be a great mod.
Gemma can be on it for me today. I would appreciate that, Gemma.
It's great to see everybody today.
But I encourage everyone in the chat to do connect, look at each other's channels, find where you've got a niche, and go and support each other. That would be wonderful. Today's topic is emotional eating. If you saw the thumbnail at all, it was me in my Bitmoji chowing on ice cream. Kay had asked what my comfort foods were, and I had stated earlier that they were goldfish crackers. I've been a preschool teacher for 15 years, and I recently retired, and I served goldfish crackers as a snack. My preschoolers would come in with their own snacks, but I always had the goldfish as a backup, and they all wanted them. It's like they would ditch their snack that they brought from home. So I started sending notes home and saying, parents, you need to buy goldfish crackers because they keep eating mine.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, so gummy bears is my go-to comfort food, snacky dessert sweet thing. And I used to do that during the musicals. So my friend Donna and I would co-direct the musicals together, and we'd have long days. So I worked 15-hour days, start work at 7 a.m. and not get home until after 8:30. And so, we would put stuff down in the pit. So the pit for a musical is where the director and the musicians all sit. And so we'd put those down in the pit, and we'd have gummy bears and dots. And she'd get all the yellow and green ones, and I would get all the other colors. Well, and I'd share some of the other colors, but yeah. So same thing. Wow. And then the kids would want to have some of my gummy bears. They got the yellow and green ones too.
Wow. I'm noticing food forest permaculture.
Yes, food forest permaculture. That's Howie, by the way.
Okay, you had mentioned Howie. Howie, thank you for coming to my stream. Mm-hmm. Very impressive comment earlier, and I'm going to read another impressive one. Low on negative ions causes emotional eating.
That would be Howie's.
That's such a good lead way.
Yes, it is. It is. But I've been thinking about this since we decided to talk about emotional eating last week. I've done a little research. Because that's what I do. But I've also been just contemplating what is what do I do about emotional eating? Or what do I think it is? And I think that some emotional eating can come from joy. Think about the times when you really binge, because I completely forget my diet plan when I go out with my friends. But it's a joy thing. I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to worry about my diet plan. I'm going to binge on tacos, whatever, like Art of Morbid says in the chat, I'm going to binge on tacos, or I'm going to eat my dessert, or we're going to have pizza, or tonight it's going to be wine and cheese, because that's what we're going to have. And it's a joyful thing. It's not.
Yeah, it can be any emotion. It's just when you have to, with emotional eating, for me, it is important to just be aware. We all eat emotionally.
I think we all do.
It can be a high emotion or a low emotion, but it is something that we as humans do. We were made to crave. It's our makeup.
Sure.
So for me, it is important to just be aware of it. Not say that you're not an emotional eater. We all are. We always at some point eat when we're emotional.
When you're emotional, like, you know, most people think of emotional eating though as I'm stressed or I'm sad or what. It's a negative thought and a negative connotation. And I just, I think that that's a thing. You know, I think that some people do go to their comfort foods during that. They go to the ice cream, you know.
What I love what you were saying is that it doesn't need to be a bad thing. And that's the thing is if we take the negativity out of it, it's going to be easier to stop it. You have to be aware of anything is a cycle. And when it's a bad cycle, that's when you have to be able to jump off of it. Right. So when you recognize it, I think, you know, you've got your triggers. And then
triggered, yes.
You know, you've got to know when the cycle has to come off. So you're gonna have your trigger, you're gonna have your high, you're gonna love it, you're gonna comfort.
Yes.
And then you're gonna have your guilt.
Right.
And then which is gonna cause another trigger. So you're, you know, so as soon as you recognize what you're doing here, that's the key to getting off of that.
I think it's all about being self-aware, like you're saying. We've been talking about that on the health stream, this health show this week. Jess K is here, as well as Mama 4, and Philip Cochran is mentioning tequila binge. That does not seem very comforting.
You know, but it's the same.
But it is the same thing. Yes.
Yeah, it's any form of comfort that you go to avoid another emotion. So if it is stress, like you were saying, most people cause an emotion is stress. Something happened. What are you doing? You're going to something that's going to avoid that emotion. What the problem is that you do get that blissful, okay, I don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
But then the next point in the cycle is you're guilty, or you come back, which is, like I said, causes another trigger. So what do you do when you're triggered? You go back to your comfort. It might not be food. It might be tequila.
And that's what we talked about kind of yesterday on the show, was food addiction. And that's what causes addiction. You get that high from the food or the high from the tequila or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it's just one thing after another. Gemma said something in the chat. It said, if you ask a question, make sure you tag one or the other of us so we see it, and it turns out orange.
Thank you, Gemma.
Yes, very good point. And then Lori Bryant says she's starting a book and group program at work with my dietitian on intuitive eating. It includes how to find satisfaction in your eating and how to feel your feelings without using food. Oh my gosh. Don't we all need that? That would be amazing. And Lori, I can't wait to talk to you about that. So.
Yeah. And that's the name of the book, Intuitive Eating?
Yeah. Is it called Intuitive Eating, Lori? I know she's at work, so she may be a little bit slow on answering.
Okay.
And then Life on the Trail says, I agree. Things we enjoy are all tied to food memory. Things we enjoy are all tied to good memories. Yes. And
Praise Creation, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm doing well. He says, how are you?
Oh, hi, Trey. It's good to see you.
Speaking of books, the other book that I've always gone back to and started is Crave.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This is a Christian-based book, and it's basically states on we were made to crave. You know, God, our maker, made us to crave him, not food. So that's kind of what this whole book goes on. But there's an interesting highlight that I was reading this morning when I was like trying to prepare my mind for this topic. But it was, now I'll see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it now. I thought it was this page, but it doesn't look at it. Oh, is it possible that we love and rely on food more than we love and rely on God? And that just, for me as a Christian, hit me because I can find that trigger. And when I am triggered and I feel like I need something, I need to remind myself that I need God. I need prayer. So this is my prayer room. And I made this and I find I'm in here more. And I realized how much I did go to food because I'd had a health self-worth journey back in 2012. And I realized so much that I always went to food for my emotions. And so when I found that this book helped me so much, I went to God. I found myself praying so much more.
Okay, I understand. I'm not laughing because
no, I want you to laugh, and it's true. I mean, it was enlightening for me. I was like, wow, okay, I don't have to use food anymore. It's not my therapy anymore. Right. And that's why I also stated that in the thumbnail, that food is fuel. It is not therapy.
Right. I loved that. Lori Bryant says, yes, it's a book called Intuitive Eating, a revolutionary program that works, and it's by Tribble and Resch, maybe. And then let's see. Food Forest Permaculture says, healthy body and healthy mind accepts healthy food. A sick mind and a sick body rejects healthy food. And that's what he always says. And I do like that. I do like that.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
And then I am actually reading a book that was suggested by one of the gals in our community, and it's called Bright Line Eating. It's actually an eating plan, but I
thought you mentioned that in your stream. Was it yesterday?
Yeah. And so Susan Pierce Thompson she was an addict when she was young. She grew up in California and just basically, she ate her way through childhood and then got addicted to other substances and lost the weight and found that she was looking better, supposedly, but she really wasn't. And then she basically says that the hardest thing for her the hardest addiction to break is food. And so I'm interested to read further. I haven't read very far in this book. I just got it last week, and my time for reading is smaller than I want it to be. So
yeah. So those you've got that book, and then your sister mentioned intuitive
eating. Yeah. And then Cliff Reiser says he's not sure about intuitive eating. It's popular in the fitness YouTube world right now, but most people just feel that it means they can eat whatever. And I'm afraid that's not understood. Okay. Yeah. I think it's good to actually read the book and figure out what it says. And I like that Lori's got the dietitian in there along with, and a group of people. So that's interesting. Then that's good.
Food Forest Permaculture says healthy body and healthy mind accepts healthy food. A 6 mile. Okay. You already read that part. I'm behind on the chat already. Sorry.
All good. All good.
Trey said that his church is reading that book right now. Are you talking about which book, Trey?
Crave. It was
the Made to Crave.
Yeah. And Art Morbid says he needs to read more. That's all right. So I think that a big question that everybody has for me, especially my teenagers, they were very concerned about emotional eating. What do I do when I just want to eat? And so I'm not sure I always had the right answers for them. I tried to make the answers something that was comforting to that individual person. Like I worked with musicians quite often, and I'd say, well, if you need comfort, if you feel stressed or whatever, what's your favorite song to play or sing? Go find that, go find a place to go do that. Go play whatever you want. Get out of the way and tell people that you just need space and you need time. And instead of going and doing emotional eating, go do something that you love that comforts you, And so sometimes that helped, and sometimes they went to the store and bought the chocolate cake. So, I think it's all about a state of mind.
It is so much of our mind, and it's so much of our desire to want the change. and to recognize that it's okay to not feel the guilt, you know,
right.
That's going to get you off that cycle.
Yeah.
But we have to want it.
And Gemma says it's about being committed to eating healthy and wanting to change. And Heart of Morbid says Chicago's hard because of all the hot dogs and beef sandwiches on every corner. Yeah, I can see both of those. I think yesterday we talked, Gemma, about whatchamadoozits? Willpower. That's the word. We talked about willpower and how it's a mental thing. You can't just say that it's a learned trait. Willpower isn't just learned, you know. It's about your brain too. Like your brain works in a way that you can only have so much willpower. And we talked about, you know, once you've made it 10 billion decisions, then you just don't have the willpower to go, I'm going to choose something better to eat. I'm just going to eat whatever's there, you know? And so yes, Gemma, I like you saying it's about committed to being, to being healthy and eating healthy and wanting to change. But at some point there's going to be a time when you just go, I'm going to eat the cheeseburger because it's good. Yeah. And I just can't do that. And I think as a human, you have to let yourself eat the cheeseburger. You know?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's like what Philip Cochran says, I really don't like to see these eating challenges or mukbang videos. I think they promote unhealthy habits and it's a bad way to be getting views. And Frank is agreeing 100% that it's sad to see. Food forest permaculture balance is key to good vibration from correct potential hydrogen food. Alkaline is awesome and is from 80% raw and unprocessed food and 20% alkalitic food. Happy, healthy human. Wait, is he a scientist?
He studies a lot about food, forest, and permaculture. And that's, I mean, he knows what he's talking about, you know? And I
said he, could be she, I don't know.
No, it's Howie. And
Howie, that's right.
Awesome. I love Howie. He's always happy. And he
have to go check out his channel just so I can put a face with this amazing mind.
Yes, there's a lot to unpack there. I love it. And yeah, Art of Morbid, sometimes you're just going to have that hot dog or the beef.
Yeah, Jess K. I love what she says. It's smaller portions and cut them in half and eating slow. I am one of 6 siblings. We learned to eat fast or we didn't eat at all. And I mean, my mom would put dinner on the table and I had 4 older brothers. So I was I was like, I gotta eat or it's going to go away. And I am a very fast eater. And that is something that I have found extremely hard to do, is to chew my food and enjoy every bite.
And that's what we talk about also, is making food meaningful. I sit at a desk every day. So I have this corner of my house and I sit here for hours. I try to get up from here to go sit and eat at the table. And not sit here and mindlessly eat whatever I'm going to eat. The only thing I want to eat here is my coffee. So and yes, smaller portions really does help. And one of the minute to win it tips that I have is that, write down everything that you eat, write down, like, okay, I had 2 tablespoons of creamer today in my coffee, and I had 2 hard-boiled egg whites, and I had cereal and peanut butter this morning, and so on and so forth. And Food Forest Permaculture says, use chopsticks if you're a fast eater. I just think that if I took time to prepare the food, that maybe I should pay attention to it. Is this good? Is it what I wanted?
Society though it's hard to eat slow and enjoy your food. And Marty pointed on that. Being in the Army, you were taught to just hurry up and finish it. Jess K says same thing with schools and work. I'm a teacher. Kay, you're a teacher. I mean, we get 10 minutes to eat, and in that 10 minutes, we're sitting our class down to eat, and then we finally get down to eat, and then the bell rings and you got to go. Right. I have constantly been scarfing my food down and tasting it later.
Oh yeah, no, I know. And that was what Matt said at one point. He was like, when I was working from 7 a.m., you know, start teaching at 7 a.m. and don't quit teaching until 8:30 at night. He was like, you're not eating. You're not eating enough food. But yeah, so I was like, I don't have time to eat. He was like, yeah, you do. And so he started bringing me dinner, you know, and he'd bring me like 1,000-calorie dinner, which is really all I eat in a day anyway. So he'd bring me 1,000-calorie dinner and he was like, I'm going to eat dinner with you.
Oh, that's so cool to hear.
But he made it a special event. He made it so that I would eat the calories I needed. And we'd sit down and I got 10 minutes. He was like, you're going to take 10 minutes with me because I never see you because you're at rehearsal all the time. ATJH Travels is here. Hello. It's good to see you
guys. Such a good channel. Very supportive. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. In school.
Wow. So what triggered that though? I mean, obviously that was something that Matt felt a serious thing to make him.
Okay. So in 2013, 14, I was diagnosed with high cholesterol again. So it was the several-th time that I'd gone to the doctor, had my cholesterol checked, and the doctor said, your cholesterol's too high. And that time she said, I'm putting you on statins. And Matt went, no, you're already on thyroid medicine. You're not going to go on statins for the rest of your life. And so I said, okay, fine. We're going to change it. I hired a nutritionist, didn't have it on my insurance, but we paid for it out of pocket. And thank goodness I didn't have to go to her too many times, but she gave me a roadmap. I followed all the rules and I fixed it.
Wow. And you're a researcher, so I'm sure that helped doing your own research.
Matt is more of a researcher. No, she gave me rules. She said, you're going to do this. Okay. And I have a file folder. And yeah, I'll pull out the file folder every once in a while and go over stuff on my shows. But so I had rules. I had this much percentage of saturated fat, this many calories, so on and so forth. And when I got to musical season the next school year, I was losing weight really fast. Like I was doing 25,000 steps a day, 25,000 steps a day. And I was losing a pound a week. And Matt's like, this is not good. You're not eating enough because you're doing this much workout, because you're doing choreography at musical rehearsal. You're teaching all day. You're directing the band. You're directing the choir. You're building sets. You're painting things. You're doing costumes. You're doing everything. And you need twice as many calories as you're getting. And so that's what brought about Matt going, I'm bringing you dinner and we're going to eat together. And it wasn't ever anything that he cooked himself. He went and picked up Subway or Jimmy John's quite often, but he knew it was something that would be in my food profile. You know, I'm allowed so many fat grams a day or saturated fat grams a day. And so he would go and get it and say, here's what it is. Here's exactly what's on it. You can write it down later, but let's sit down and eat. And so that's what brought it about. Was he thought I was losing weight too fast, because I was in my last 5 pounds of losing weight and I was still losing like a pound or half a pound a week. And he was like, that's just not healthy. There's just no way.
Well, were you needing to though?
No.
So, okay. So yeah.
No, I mean, I weighed then 5 pounds less than I weigh now.
Okay.
So it was to the point of, you know, I really needed more food than what I was getting, but you know, I wasn't emotionally eating. I was emotionally not eating. I was so stressed that I wasn't eating.
Right. You when you say that, it reminds me, like I always tell my husband, I don't eat when I'm happy or when I'm busy, and I'm happy when I'm busy. So for me, when I'm not accomplishing something or I'm not doing something, I get bored. And that's when I go to food. And so I guess for my emotion, it's boredom.
Yes.
And that's all I do. I'll eat all day. And then on the days where I find like I've had something to do, I have a purpose, because I retired 2 years ago and I started gaining weight again. And I was like, you know what? I need a purpose. I need to do something because all I'm doing is eating.
Right. Right. Yeah, I understand. And there's a lot to that. I mean, I'm now to the point of less than 10,000 steps a day. That's my goal, is like 20 or 10,600 a day, which it used to be more like 12,000 steps a day was my lower bound goal. But my goal has gone down so much. My watch kind of has a program.
Yeah, I haven't jumped on that wagon yet. I don't know what my steps are or anything, but I know that that's helping people realize that they're not active enough.
I'm a numbers person, and I'm an exact numbers person. I hate math. I know that sounds totally stupid, but I
don't like math either.
Well, but I love numbers.
Oh, like, gotcha.
I need 1,000 calories a day, 12 fat grams, 12 saturated fat grams, 60 protein, 10,600 something steps.
1,000 calories sounds so little.
It is, but I am so little. That was the first thing you said to me last week when we met. You're so little.
That's true, you guys. I don't know if you haven't seen the video. You're like as tall as Jessie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 5 foot tall if I stretch really, really tall. Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah. Now, food, I want to jump back to the chat because Food Forest said something interesting about eating an enzyme with your food, and this will help with absorbing the micronutrients. Where would you get something like that? I don't know what that is. That a supplement that you can just get, like a vitamin supplement?
Well, enzymes come in a lot of different forms, so I'm interested in finding out what Howie's answer is there. I did notice down here at the bottom of the chat that Gemma asked the question, how do you feel food affects you, and what motivates you?
Okay, 2 separate questions.
Yes, 2 very different questions.
Do you want to take that one, or do you want me to answer it? Or we both?
Well, I think we both can. Sure, do you want to go first, or you want me to?
You go first.
Okay, so how do I feel food affects me? I feel that food affects me, well, the way I want food to affect me. Let's do that first. I want it to affect me as to not have an effect on me at all. I want it to affect me as to provide me with the nutrients that I need, but nothing more. How it does really affect me is that it, Walgreens is calling. Stop, Walgreens. So how it does really affect me is that I plan food. I plan my week around food. Like, we plan our menu on Sunday, and we say, oh, I'm going to make this for dinner, and Matt's just going to love it. And it's,
wow, that's interesting.
You know, I make food with love. And so going to this knife skills class tonight at Cutco makes me really excited, because it will make me better at making food so that other people can enjoy it. And so that's how food affects me, is that I want to share it with other people. And I'd thought about starting a food channel, and that I realized that I'm really just a home cook, and nobody really needs to see the food that I make.
Oh, I doubt that.
There are some interesting things that I make, and I do have some cooking stuff on Fuel for Happy Trails on a playlist. But yeah, so how does food affect me? I don't think it affects me emotionally. And then what motivates me? Everything motivates me. Failure motivates me. Success motivates me. I get motivated by other people's praise a lot. And I know that about myself. I'm a people person.
It's and good to know that.
I am a people pleaser, and I don't like letting people down. And so making myself proud, making my family proud, and then making others proud motivates me. And so that's my answer to that one. And it's a small, very shortened answer. But how do you feel food affects you, Miss Kathy?
Food, I'm not, it's interesting to hear you say that you plan your week around food, because I don't even think about the next meal I'm going to make. Food for me really is fuel. I mean, I eat emotionally, I eat when I'm bored, but mostly I just eat because I'm hungry. And okay. I've learned to just follow a hunger scale. when I was a kid, we played until the street lights went on. You know, I never thought about running inside to eat. Oh, it's noon, I got to eat. You know, right. I never thought that as a kid. And I've come to do that back again. I just, when I get busy and I think, I'm hungry, okay, I got to go eat. Here's my problem. I go to the pantry and just grab whatever's convenient. I don't plan. I don't cook. I don't think of a meal. I will very comfortably go in and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and eat it too fast, realize I never ate it, and make another one.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, I didn't even taste that one. I think I'll make another one. You know, and I don't think of eating the pyramid of food. I don't think, oh, I haven't had any vegetables, I need to eat vegetables. I just eat because I'm hungry, and I eat because I need to hurry up and eat something because I'm hungry. I waited too long. I'm hungry. I need to eat it, and eat it fast.
Right.
So it does affect me that way. Now, what motivates me is a lot about what you said, words of affirmation. I mean, I feed off of praise. I feed off of accomplishments. So that really motivates me.
I understand. Let's see. One thing you said triggered a thought, and that was working with my nutritionist taught me that I should never become hungry.
Yeah.
You know, you should never actually have your stomach growl, because that means you've waited too long to eat or drink.
Yeah, there is a scale that I learned to follow. So one is, you know, you're going to be hungry soon. So when you get to about a 3 or a 4, you need to eat, because if you wait until you're at an 8, you're going to do what I do. You're just going to hurry up.
Yeah. And so my nutritionist said, eat 100 calories every hour that you are awake. And during musical season, that didn't happen, except for I would plan out my meal for all day long the night before, and I'd say, okay, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to put together
You have to do that though, because you're away from the house.
Right. And so when I was away, I would do that. And I plan out Matt's meals every day. This morning we had a meeting at 8 o'clock, but at 6:30 this morning, I went in, I got his cooler out. I made him his chicken, and I measured it all out and told him how many ounces he had, and his buffalo sauce and his ranch and his veggies and all that stuff. So, yeah. And so he'll have everything he needs to eat until we meet up again tonight. Wow. The chat is just, there's so much. Food Forest Permaculture, Willow enzyme. It's at a health food store. Lots of enzymes. When you were born, when you run out, humans become old, rancid, and moldy.
So it's actually called Willowzyme?
Willowzyme, it looks like. Okay. Yeah. And then
I'm actually going to write that down, because that's very interesting to me.
Oh, thank you, Arta Morbid. I'm honored by that statement. I don't know if the rest of me is inspiring, but my spirit is. And you're welcome, Gemma. Thank you for asking such a thoughtful question, or thought-provoking question.
Thank you, Gemma.
Marty's Crew says, I love to cook more for my family's enjoyment than my own. And he says he enjoys it too. And then Gemma says, I see it as being convenient and needing a snack, but I'm making changes to eat better for myself. You motivate me to make positive changes. Well, thank you, Gemma. I'm honored by that too.
I saw Gemma made a great video, a reaction video to your food addiction.
She did.
It wasn't your food addiction. It was self-worth. That was a wonderful live stream. You guys need to go back on Kay's channel and check that out, because I watched that yesterday all the way through on the replay, and it was very inspiring.
Well, I sat on my couch and watched Gemma's live stream. She sent me a message and said, I made a video to it. And I was like, okay, I'll watch that. So I sat on my couch and just cried. Cried because I was so happy for Gemma and so happy about her answers. And it was an amazing video, Gemma. And I'm seriously, you are not replaceable. And I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, it was cool. And your stream as well was
thank you.
Absolutely wonderful.
Last week was, I guess I needed to delve into my own psyche a little bit. And it was such an interesting week. I started out with self-doubt. Because I've spent a lot of time in the last couple weeks or last month thinking I'm really not good enough to do what I do, because I'm not a health professional. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a psychologist. And I'm not a nutritionist. I've spent a lot of time thinking, wow, I'm not good enough to do this. And so that was kind of where the self-doubt show came from, and motivating myself to go on and motivating myself to keep going with what I'm doing, you know? And so, yeah, that's where that came from. And then we went into, you know, self-worth and self-image. The self-image show is always so hard because people actually take a look at themselves during the self-image show, and they open up a lot. And I think that
you may have caused a lot of emotional eating.
It might have.
Yeah.
To go back to the topic that we're supposed to be on.
Yeah.
And Marty's crew was saying it was a great week, and it hit home for a lot of us. And you know what? I think that self-doubt, self-image, and self-worth are a huge part of emotional eating. You know,
I definitely believe so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar is what Food Forest is talking about.
Yes.
And I know this is pretty commonly spoke about in the last several years, how sugar is a drug. It is. I totally believe that. Yep. I have a sugar addiction. Sure. And I have tried to knock it, and I still have not been able to, because I still allow myself to eat sugar. And if I could just totally eliminate it, I could probably see a better health for myself. And I can't eliminate it. I can't get it out of my diet.
I understand. Hello, Enzo. S2W Themes is here. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming.
He mentioned keto. That's something my son is doing. My 19-year-old is doing the keto plan for his acne, and he has seen significant improvement in that. And so I do believe that our body can heal itself with food.
Oh, yes. And that's what has come about for me, is that my cholesterol dropped 33 points in 3 months. I mean, that's unheard of, really. I went back to my doctor and I said, okay, check my cholesterol. I'm ready. And she was like, what'd you do? I said, I got mad at you. and my little Indian doctor, she was so funny. I love her to death. She says, I'm your little Indian doctor. Anyway, but she's no taller than I am, and she really gives me what for. It's pretty funny. But anyway, so but yeah, I got mad at her and I dropped my cholesterol, and so far it's basically stayed below 200. So what was I going to say? I was going to say, oh, sugar. I believe that trying to cut out non-added sugar. So don't add sugar to your cereal. Eat the fruit. You need the oranges and the lemons and the limes, because there's fruit, there's sugar in those. There's sugar in those. You need those, but don't add the sugar. Now, don't look at my coffee, because I added sugar, or I added syrup to it, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's the additive sugars that,
I think that that's a thing. Sorry. I sat there and realized, oh, Gemma thinks I'm amazing. I'm not amazing. I'm just a human.
You are amazing. We all are amazing.
We are all amazing. I'm not any more amazing than anyone else. Bye, Art and Morbid. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you, Frank. Thank you for coming. And hello to Enzo. Enzo is here.
And Marty's crew loves that story. Yeah, my doctor. We go round and rounds. We have a good times. Oh, and Food Forest Permaculture is gonna take off. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing your very impressive brain to this conversation.
Yes, love always wins. Love yourself, and you will learn to love others. Yes, I love it. Howie just always has the most interesting comments, so I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's been fun to connect with him today. I'm very impressed.
He's good, and he has some really fun live streams. And Justin Mello says he's still here. Well, thanks, Justin, for hanging in with us.
Hi, Justin. Thank you. Thank you for chatting and letting us know.
Yes, and then Enzo says,
Melody Mama 2 is here. Hello.
Oh, hello. It's good to see you.
And Fox 87 just joined.
Wow. So it's such a good room today. Enzo says, Sugar and I have a love-hate relationship to that sweet. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I do too. We've been talking about emotional eating today. And so if you weren't on my stream and just joined, if you want to talk about or tell us about a comfort food? Or,
yeah, Kate asked in her stream earlier what your comfort food is. I'd like to know, for those of you who weren't in here, to go ahead and type that in. I want to know your comfort food, but I also want to know when you feel the need or what triggers that food for you. If you want to type that in the chat, because that's the key in emotional eating. You have to recognize that we all do it. You can't just say, well, I'm not an emotional eater. I mean, there are going to be times where you are. You might not be one that stays on the cycle of emotional eating. Right. And I think the key is that so many of us that feel like we are emotional eaters, I had stated earlier, and I truly believe this, that you have to be aware so that you can stop it. You have to know, when is that? And there's so many ways that you could do that. By what Kay said, writing down your food, writing down when you eat, write down the day, the time of day when you're going to that comfort food. What were you doing? You know, I wrote down earlier some notes about some questions you can ask yourself. Where are you? What time is it? What is your emotional state? Who else is around? And what actions preceded the urge? Yeah. So, and I'll go ahead and repeat those. And so that's something that we can all, as an emotional eater, can look at. And if you start to document and write and think about those things, especially when you find that comfort food, when you know what your comfort food is, recognize what it is, and then ask yourself, okay, where am I? What time is it? What is my emotional state? Who is around me? Right. And what is the action that preceded me to want that comfort food? Yes. So if you get to recognize that, then that's when you can stop. So if you document this for even a week or two, let's say, and then go back and look at your notes and answer those, see what your answers were, you're probably going to see a pattern. And when you recognize that pattern, that's when you can stop the cycle.
Ability Mom of 2 answered your questions. Burgers and fries when I'm stressed. Yes, I understand. When I'm stressed, I eat anything and everything. Dill pickles. I eat popcorn. I eat cereal. I just eat whatever. I mean, that's what I do when I'm stressed. I just put stuff in my face. We talked earlier about having an emotional joy. You binge when you're happy and you're around people. So that's a thing too, to notice when you binge on food, even if it's a happy time, you know, you need to notice, and you need to be self-aware. That's another one of those self things, self-worth and self, you know, yeah, it's just so hard. You just need to be self-aware and go, okay, I've now eaten 5 pieces of little bitty cheese here at the party, and maybe I need to switch to whatever, or maybe I need to not eat anymore because that's 5 pieces of cheese.
So being mindful. I love what you said that earlier. Being mindful.
Yeah, mindful eating or meaningful eating. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Jess K says she loves pickles.
I do love, Jess K. Yeah,
Jess K says she loves, and I love pickles too. That's Jesse's big thing is pickles. I have a funny story about pickles. Is Jesse saw the show Little Rascals.
Okay. Pickles, the Pickles kids.
Yes, the Pickles kids. I got 2 pickles. I got 2 pickles. So Jessie, when she was younger, she always had to have 2 pickles, and she'd sing that song. She's loved pickles ever since. So I use Walmart shopping, where you go from your online and then you go pick up your food. Yeah. Well, I put pickles on my cart, and they put my food in there, and I drove home, and I was getting my load out of the cart, and the jar was this big, and I didn't realize I'd ordered that huge jar.
A gallon jar of pickles.
Yeah, it was a huge gallon, and I put it in the refrigerator, and I had to adjust my shelves to put the thing in there. Jessie comes home from school, and first thing, she opens the fridge and sees this giant jar of pickles. She goes, "Mom, what did you buy?" And I'm like,
that's hilarious. Go, Jessie. Oh, that's funny. Marty's Crew says, eat whatever is possible. Snacking is also a way of keeping my hands occupied. Do you know that that's why some people take up like knitting and crocheting and quilting and things like that, so that they always have something going on with both of their hands? Because diet plans will say, get a hobby and start on this nutrition plan.
Wow.
So that, you know, you're always doing something with your hands and you don't get that urge to eat or that habitual need. You know, people who quit smoking often gain weight because they need to have something to do with their hands. That was a great point, Marty.
That is. Enzo, I love what Enzo said, and it's so true, because some of us won't eat when we're emotional.
Yes.
And Enzo says, I love food, so I notice it's hard to figure out my comfort food. As for when I get into a negative emotion or a vibe, I kind of stray away from food because I want to enjoy food and ignore the joy of it. That's a very good point, Enzo.
Wow.
So if I can ask then, I mean, maybe it's not emotional eating. Maybe it's important for you to recognize what your comfort numbing is. Like, what do you go to for numbing? You know, when you're in a negative emotional vibe, what is it that does comfort you? And is it a good comfort? Yeah. And I think that's important to know, that if we are in a negative vibe and we find that we're doing something that comforts us, we need to make sure that that is a healthy comfort.
Gemma just said, I'm using a meditation book, which has a big section about food and self-worth in it. So this is perfect. Oh, that's fun. That is
Gemma, if you want to put the name of the meditation book for others, feel free to do so.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, man, I've really enjoyed this conversation today.
I have too, and I don't want to keep you too long. You've already been on your stream since 10 this morning, and we are going on 11:30, and I would love for others to be able to watch the replay. So
yeah, let's make it replayable.
Yeah, we definitely can do that. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has come from Kay's stream, everyone new to my channel, and those of you who have stayed. And it's been such a wonderful chat. It is a huge topic to cover, but I do think that it was really good, and we did a good job of it.
Yeah, I think so too. And if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please do that for Miss Kathy. She's awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Kay. You guys, I'll go ahead and let you know what my next schedule is. Jess Kay is in the chat, and she is going to be on March 5th. We're going to be talking on the topic of bullying.
Awesome.
I have Joker from Creators Alliance is coming on the 25th of February. We're going to be talking about online relationships.
Oh, wow.
From all sorts of social media, friend relationships, dating relationships, so all kinds of online relationships. And Casey Detox, her name is Michelle. She's going to be coming on and talking about spirituality on the 26th. I have Gemma scheduled. Gemma's in the chat and coming on autism awareness and how social media, the pros and cons of social media for autism.
That'd be great.
And so far, but if you are interested in coming on Real Talk, please hit me up on Twitter or leave me a comment below this video so that we can get something scheduled. I'm very interested in doing this. It's been so fun to interact with you, Kay.
Yeah, it's been awesome, Kathy. I can't wait to actually get to meet up with you at some point in time again. So this has been very cool, though.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Well, thank you everyone for coming and enjoying Real Talk. And thank you so much, Kay.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.